It's saying people who attack property and human beings should be shown to the public. They should be punished. They should be disgraced. They don't even have enough jails in France for the people who should be sent to jail. And for some reason, they don't show the people who do these things. They should show them, and people should know who they are, and then they should know that they're punished. So they would know you shouldn't do it.
So you would define or characterize the jihad influence here in the United States as pretty much the information highway, what we're told in the media to believe and think?
Look at that Walter Mearsheimer paper, okay? Or I could trace, I can show how the jihad ideas get into a paper with the Harvard, University of Chicago. Do you know it's a great success in France?
Yes.
And that on the Islamist radio station, when the people call in with their rabid anti-Semitism, anti-Americanism, anti-Zionism, they quote it and they say, look, these wonderful professors in the United States, they explained what the Jews are up to and we have to protect ourselves from that. So what's happening on university campuses in the United States, I can't tell all the details, but it's a very serious subversive movement. And Americans are not enough aware of it. Americans are so vulnerable to their humanitarian impulses.
My congregants' children will see this probably, and their children are in university.
Yes.
What should they be on the lookout for?
When I think how much they pay to send them to the university, I mean, in France it's free. So, but the situation is very serious in French universities. They don't talk about it here. It's like the worst that you could imagine. It's almost like a takeover of the French universities. People can't write, they can't write a thesis about anything that we would defend. It's lost. Here, I would say, you know, you don't pay to send your children to the university to learn the kind of thing that you're going to read in a paper by Walter Mearsheimer that even most of it is plagiarized beside the point, or go and have somebody like Churchill, Ward Churchill teaching. There's a tremendous job to be done to prepare Jewish students, Jewish kids who have, sometimes they go to Jewish day school and then get to the university and they're going to hear all of these specious arguments. And they need a tremendous preparation to know how to answer. And one thing I say, I speak to students everywhere I'm going for my talks on this tour, I speak to young people. And one of the things I tell them is, be careful. They're using your best instincts to make you turn against yourself.
When you say best instincts, you mean like the civil rights movement?
Yes, and thinking, right, you should never say, you know, if the identity of the person is Muslim, so then you can't say they did anything bad collectively. That's being against Muslims. And then the people who want to destroy this country, they're going to play on that. And they're going to try to get laws passed. The cartoon jihad was that. The function of the cartoon jihad was to get anti-blasphemy laws in Europe.
I've been following this dialogue, and I have a final question for you. I want to give you a shot at it. Some people will say that, what do you want? The right control the Congress, they control the chief executive, but we don't control the university campuses, and that is driving the right crazy.
I don't think that is driving the right crazy. I think the right is doing something that's of value to the whole public. After all, you know, the people talk about diversity, and they define diversity as having so many black people in the, right? And they talk about minorities. I mean, we're a much smaller minority, aren't we? So that doesn't count for, we don't count for diversity. Nobody's worrying, are there enough Jews here or there, because we're supposed to fend for ourselves. Jewish students and professors made the reputation of some great universities like Columbia, and now they're in trouble and have to hang their heads or fight back. That's not bothering anybody, because it's not really diversity they're talking about. They want entitlement for some group, and women do that. They want entitlement for women, and so they're going to, you know, everything has to be gender studies, and now we have to trash all men from the beginning of time, and everything they did is worthless. It's about, you know, going to destroy the Buddhas. It's about the same mentality.
Okay. So we should, we have a right to, in other words, it's not properly characterized.
Well, what I ask of professors is that they be scholarly.
Okay.
I mean, Noam Chomsky, I wrote something, I took one of Noam Chomsky's texts.
Yes.
And I could destroy it in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not bragging,
No.
right? It's
Okay.
because it is based on nothing. When
It's
I
not
went to the
correct.
University of
Mm-hmm.
Wisconsin, we had a good education, right? That was in the mid-50s. We had a good education. I appreciated that because in high school they couldn't teach us things like that. What we learned to think. Where did I learn? How did I learn to reason? And that you don't just say something and then put it together in a shoddy way. That's what we were judged by when we wrote papers.
Yes.
Now, not students, I'm talking about students, professors, they can write a paper that's baseless, that shows that they don't know how to think.
Mm-hmm.
And they should be criticized by people who know how to think. That's our weapon. That's what we should use. I'm not going to count how many are voting this way and how many voting that way on a campus.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you're not saying we should control what they say or think, but you are saying that we should be able to think freely and say,
Well, they
speak freely.
Yes, because they control what we say or think. You know, every time they want to bring Palestinian Solidarity Conference, like at Georgetown.
Yes.
Right. If we say, wait a minute, what are you bringing these people? They're terrorists. They say free speech. Then you have the art exhibit at Penn State.
Yes.
Right?
So what do you say?
Now it's not free speech. Suddenly that's going to disturb, and that's hate. Now can you imagine if you show what the people who want to destroy Israelis in the most cruel way, if you show what they did, that's fomenting hatred?
Okay. So you're saying it's bogus.
It's bogus. It's not scholarly. Universities today, I feel, in the United States are mixed up in things that they shouldn't be in. And I mean, what is it? Yale not allowing recruiters to come on campus, but wanting the money anyway from the government and taking money from the Saudi prince.
So you think if a university takes money from a Saudi prince and finances the Middle East program, you'd be a little concerned about that as far as the bent of the program?
It's disgraceful.
And we should be able to talk about that, right?
Because the Saudi prince says it's to foster Muslim Christian understanding, first of all. And to not call the Saudi prince, I mean, honestly, on my simple way, you know, I would say, thank you, it's very nice to offer, but I think you should give the money in Saudi Arabia and foster understanding of Muslims with the rest of the world.
Okay, but how do we deal with something like that? We do accept money from people that donate to universities. So why can't the prince?
Do they come from countries where you and I can't go, set foot? Do they come from countries where a Christian can't have a Bible? If somebody has, I mean, he doesn't just come from there, he has power there. And Christian university takes money from him and doesn't even say, we'd like the money, but first, I think you should allow Christians to build churches in your country.
I see.
It's simple things.
Okay. It's very, very helpful to talk about these things, and I think that a lot of times, because of the phrasing and the labeling of Islamophobe, it kind of puts a stop on the free flow of ideas. And I appreciate you being here today and talking with us.
It was a pleasure to me.
Nidra Poller. Pleasure.